Hello, friends and frogs. How is everyone doing out there? Everything is wonderful here. It's raining. It's getting kind of cool. It got up to 60 yesterday. We haven't been there in a couple of weeks. It had been a long, long time. So I was kind of excited. Yesterday was beautiful. It was warm. It was exciting. And now it's raining. But you gotta have, you gotta have the rain, because without the rain, you can't have flowers. Welcome back to another edition of Cassie's Corner. I am Cassie. Thank you for being here. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell to be notified when I download a new video. And all of these things helps to signify to YouTube and their rules that I do have viewer interaction, and I will reach out to more people. They would recommend my videos a little bit more, and I would really appreciate that. We talk about depression and anxiety and tips and tricks, really, because I'm not a medical doctor, I'm not a professional anything, but through the Daily Stoic, the book that I'm reading from, it's a journal-like book. We use this book to help us identify how we can control our brain and control our thoughts and control our feelings. So much so that the little things that hurt when we're aching, and depressed and things, they won't hurt so much, and it becomes so much of a habit that you are actually looking at a person that suffered deeply with depression and anxiety, so much so that she did not get up out of bed, she did not look people in the eyes, she did not talk to people, she wouldn't go anywhere, she wouldn't, like, grocery store. I couldn't do that. I couldn't face the public. I couldn't do it. I did work during my depression. Sadly though, because my depression rolled off into my daily activity, and it would be all that I was talking about, and it got to where people just did not want to be around me. And I understand that. I do. I get it, because that's all I talked about was how sad I was or how upset I was. And I've tried to roll negativity off on other people, and, it got unbearable. And I understand it. I do. I didn't then. I thought, why? What? I'm just talking about, people don't want to hear your sadness. They just don't. They have enough of their own. And then the wise ones keep it to themselves, and they deal with it the best that they know how. So there's so much in life going on with everybody. I didn't realize, what was going on with people. But there's so much going on with everybody that we don't need to drag our sadness into our work, into our church, into our friends. We don't, there's a such thing as having somebody to talk to, and there's such thing in just oversharing. And that is what I did. I really overshared. I really overstepped my welcome. So, with that being said, we're going to read we're on the February 4th. We're on the 35th day of the year. Yay, it's going. And this is a word in this title, is a word that I just don't use. I don't feel like it's possible. It's not something that can be attained, because we are in human form. Jesus, maybe. God, for real. But this word is just one of those words with that and domination. I had a friend one time that I worked with, real quick, he used the word domination. And he's going to go dominate the situation. He has such a personality that he was going to dominate the competitors, or if he was looking for a job, I'm going to dominate the situation. And it drove me nuts, because that word should not come out of our mouths unless we're talking about sports, or we're talking about myths, or war, or something of that nature. That's just not a word that you use. This word that I'm about to use, and domination, I just do not believe that we should use those in daily conversation, but people do. Okay. On being invincible. Who then is invincible? The one who cannot be upset by anything outside of their reasoned choice. And Epictetus said that in his discourses. Have you ever watched a seasoned pro handle the media? No question is too tough. No No tone too pointed or insulting. They parry every blow. They parry, every blow with humor, poise, and patience. Even when stung or provoked, they choose not to flinch or react. This is true. My husband watched sports lots, and I watch a lot of pro sports people speaking, players that you're thinking, okay, they can't talk like that, but they do. They end up speaking so eloquently and praising even their opponents, because they know that's a sportsman thing to do. So they are kind of trained in the way to speak. I would hope so, but they do. They don't let things get to them. Anyway, they're able to do this not only because of training and experience, but because they understand that reacting emotionally will only make the situation worse. The media is waiting for them to slip up or get upset. So to successfully navigate press events, they have internalized the importance of keeping themselves under calm control. It's unlikely you'll face a horde of probing reporters and bombarding you with insensitive questions today, but it might be helpful, whatever stresses or frustrations overload that do come your way, to picture that image and use it as your model for dealing with them. Our reason choice, our proheresies, as the Stoics called it, is a kind of invincibility that we can cultivate. We can shrug off hostile attacks and breeze through the pressure and problems. And like our model, when we finish, we can point back into the crowd and say, next. That is awesome. This is an awesome... When I saw the title, I was kind of nervous because I'm like, you can't be invincible. That's not something you can do. But then reading into the paragraph, and I don't pre-read. That's probably why I'm like, interrupt the reading. But anyway... I didn't pre-read it, so I was like, I'm just not even sure what I'm about to read. So now that this has come out, this piece has been read, I kind of understand now. I can be invincible by not letting the little things get to me, like a pro sports person facing critical moments in television. If he bolts, if he stammers, if he insults his adversary or his opponent, the media is gonna pounce on him hard. and we have to think like that too. If we are caught with someone we are not trusted with, if someone not close to us, and we are caught saying something awful or demeaning about someone else, it can cost us our reputation. It can cost us our peace of mind. It can cost us what we mean to others. It really can. And I'm living proof of that. Again, I worked as a teacher's aide in the special needs department, and I was just on and on and on about my depression and how sad I was and how horrible what life was. And the 4 teachers that I worked with just were not having it. Didn't even want to be around me at the end of it. Actually, got me out of special ed. It was a long story. But they just couldn't take it anymore, and I don't blame them. I'm not mad at them. I don't feel anything. I'm just really, really sorry, that I had to be that way. But it was a prime sadness. This was also the time too where I had so many wrecks and I hadn't slept in like days. I was only sleeping 3 hours a night. I ended up having 6 wrecks in 2 years. And they were all my fault. They were all my fault. I almost lost my license. It's just a horrible time because I was so fixated on this depression type thing, that word and the things that was making me sad. And I mean, I couldn't live. I was working with children is what the sad thing was. I was with children. I mean, I could react to the children. I was fine with the children. I wasn't. But it still was a sad situation. It was a very, very sad situation. So the next time that you're out in public and somebody says something about you or somebody else that they knew or know, practice what you would say. Practice how you would carry yourself. Practice the fact that you stay with the facts and not let your emotions control how you feel about that person. And don't make the facts be so much so that you are opponents. Make it so that this fact is this and this fact is this. Or better yet, try to stay out of the gossip era. That's not a way. Gossip, the Bible warns about gossip so many years ago. So, when the Bible was first recorded. And gossip is the type of talk that happens where it is, where your opinions matter. So, or you talk about people's situation when it shouldn't even be it's not your duty to talk about the things that are happening publicly, to other people. You talk about things that people do, people say, and it's not a good topic of conversation. You just can't gossip like that for people. And some of us forget it. It's so common that you don't even realize you're doing it. Gossip is everywhere. You don't realize you're doing it until you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. The best part about gossip is to say it's not my place, or this is not my situation. This is not my battle. I refuse to speak of it. Or people start gossiping you around work, you can get up and just leave and just don't listen to the mess. Don't try to hear what they're trying to say, because the more you listen, the more you are involved with it, the more, it's easy to come to you. just leave, or just be like, hey, I'm not in this. This isn't about me. I'm going to go over here. I don't agree with what's being said. I realize it's facts maybe, or hearsay, or however, but I'm just not. I'm going to go over here. And that way you're more trusted with the people around you. People realize that you're not going to deal with the gossip, and they can trust you more. So, make it a practice. Make it a practice. Yeah, the pro-heresies. I wonder what that means. So you can create invincibility by not letting the small stuff bother you. And you have the don't sweat the small stuff. That is older, yeah, we can't sweat the small stuff. We can't let the opinions and the feelings and the emotions carry away with us. When we're in conversation, we can't let gossip overrule what we do or what we say. We just have to stick to the facts, and if nothing else, like I said, you can just walk away. And you can be very, very invincible in not letting all that stuff, again, what can you control? You can't control what other people say. All you can do is either walk away or just tell them, I'm not interested in hearing this. And that way you can have your dignity intact, and that person can have their dignity, and you are a trusted friend. And that works. So, how is everybody doing? Does anybody have the rain? Does everybody have the rain? How is everybody's weather out there? I hope the day has come to you as you have desired. I really wish that we had the sunshiny weather that we had yesterday, but I do know that we need rain. We need the water. We need the flowers. I need to get out there and get in my garden. I just have not done so yet. I think today, because it is raining, I'm going to work on some things here in my office. And I'm going to act like I'm important in doing so. I am important. Don't get me wrong. That was a joke. But I know I am important. But I have some important things to do here. I'm thinking about going back to school. I'm thinking about my husband is to retire in a few months. I'm talking 18 at the most, 18 months. So I'm thinking I need to get a job. So I'm thinking about completing a school situation that I did. I had a class, and I'm thinking about redoing. I know I failed the class because I had to study here at home. I'm very ADHD. People were coming in and out, and I couldn't focus on what I was doing. But I think I'm going to try to do it over and continue the course, because I really need to think about even working at home. Somehow I need to think about having a job to support us in the time that my husband retires. So there's that. That's what's happening. When you get married at 24 years old, you don't think that you hang on long enough for somebody to retire. But yeah, it's been that long. It has been that long. I really hope that people can focus out there about their circle of control. Write a list about, make a list what I can control, what I can't control. And that way you can master what it is, besides panicking, when people say things, or when things happen, when people go, just say what they have to say. If they're voicing an opinion, they're not coming at you. But if you sit there and write what I control, what I cannot control, and you master those lists, it's less to worry about. The world just becomes so much clearer, and it becomes different. You don't have to have that panic come at you, and you're not mad at every negative thing that is said about you, or about a situation that nobody else knows about. You don't have to, not everything deserves a response. Not everything deserves an emotional pull. Not everything deserves a battle. Not everything at all. It is just words. People are allowed to say what they feel, or what they think, or their opinions, or whatever, and it doesn't mean that you get to be upset about it. I was upset over everything everybody said. Everything. I mean, I took everything so personally. And looking back, I realized, God, you're an idiot. You're really an idiot. You wasted all that time getting mad. And I mean, I made it known. Oh my God, you just hurt my face. I was one of those people. I couldn't, there had to be a label on my head: does not play well with others. Just saying. Nobody wanted to. It just was not a good situation. Not a good situation. And now I can laugh about it, but back then, I ain't laughing about nothing. I'm mad at you. I can't believe you said that. I can't believe you voiced your opinion. And all this, all this stuff about, people are allowed to voice their opinion. They're just allowed. That's what it is. To have an opinion is to voice it. Whether or not you agree with it, you're going to have to go in a closet and just argue with yourself about why you disagree with it. Stop arguing with people that they can think it if they want to. It doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't mean you're wrong. It doesn't mean you have to battle. It doesn't. Not everything is battle. Not everything is battle. Nothing is a battle. Everything should just flow. And we should use our minds to think about what we are control. Could you control what that person thought? No. You can voice your opinion back, but is it going to get into a fight? Is it going to get emotional? Think about what you're doing before you do it. Be calm and try to be the more mature person. And I promise you, things will get better. You won't feel, when you realize what you can control, you will feel so much better. You will feel amazing. It amazes me at times, the things that may have upset me. It's amazing now that I'm just like, okay, whatever. You do what you got to do. But remember that in using our minds and using our circle of control, we can be invincible in our emotions and our thoughts and our behaviors, and people will look up to us, and we can become good friends with people. I hope everybody has a great big belly laugh today. I hope you do like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Tell your friends I'm here. Yay. I'm also on Facebook. It's facebook.com /Bows of Happiness. I am also at I have a email just for this channel. It's Cassie's with no apostrophe _corner at outlook.com. That way you can reach me personally. And if you have to mention names or certain situations, and you have, families that may think that it's about them, you're not putting it, in my comments, and people are trying to think that you're talking about them. So it's a personal way to get in touch with me. I'm really trying to get more things to to support this channel, so that way everybody knows I'm here and they can come to me and and listen to my tips and tricks and ways of controlling our mind a little bit better, so everybody else can live a more happier and joyful life, and people aren't out there getting jealous and being mad over opinions and the small stuff. And we're really being professional sports people, so to speak, and taking our interviews as professional as we can. So that way we have more friends, and I don't have any friends. My friends are my current watchers. I don't have friends. But of course I do. I have my buddies, my Bible study teacher. She's a good friend, and then I have the pastor. He's one of the best. He is my best friend. I've not heard from him in a couple of days. I'm gonna try to call him in a minute. And then I have my grandchildren and my children. But I really don't have. I don't feel comfortable sharing my life with other people again, and then having it turned around on me. You know what I mean? I'm not comfortable with that at all. So I kind of stay to myself. That's how it works. That's how it works, people. But find that great big belly laugh. Find somebody that you appreciate. Be kind to them and say it out loud. That kindness is going to be very addicting, and you're going to want to learn to be that way towards yourself. And start with affirmations. Affirmations are awesome. You have to say them out loud. You have to hear what you have to say about yourself, and it has to be true. So start small, like I am a mother, I am a sister, I am, and it always has to be I am, or success follows me, or money flows from me, for me, or you have to say the truth. It has to be truthful. Otherwise, your brain is not gonna connect with it. You can't sit there and say, I am amazing. Yes, you are amazing. I'm not saying that you're not. But if you do not believe it and you cannot grab it, then there's no point in saying it. Am I making sense? Does that make yourself clear? Does that work? If it's not true, your brain is not going to hold on to it. Start small. I am a mother. I am a sister. I am a wife. I have responsibilities. I have duties. And then you can go into complimenting yourself. When I am pretty amazing. I have come through a lot. I have overcome so much in my life. I have had Avengers. I have had, I've had, how many of our children you've had? They're beautiful. They're successful. They're wonderful. They're smart. And I have raised them, and, just keep going, and kind of gradually you'll get up there. You'll get up there, I promise. And it is so much better for you to realize your importance in the world than it is to worry about somebody else's importance. Because I always wondered, why are they so important? Why are they so popular? Why are they so... I know popular is such a middle school kind of word, but it still rings true. Why does everybody like them? Why is everybody crowd around them? What do they have that I don't? And eventually, you'll get there. You'll understand. You will get it all, I promise. But you have to do the affirmations. You have to talk to yourself. You have to get rid of those negative voices. And I know you have them, because I had plenty. I had plenty of negative voices in my head. I know you have them. You may not think you do, but you do. The voices in your head that are negative, they're the words that, like, when you fail at a situation, you're like, you're so stupid. Or you're such a failure. You've heard that from somewhere. You don't know that you've heard it. But when it came to me in my mother's voice, I realized it's not me talking. It wasn't me talking. It was my mother. It was my brother. It was, other people. And I've had plenty of compliments. I have plenty of compliments on my hair, on my eyes, on, I was always told how pretty I was. I still don't believe that. But it was always the negative voices were my worst critic. And I had to flush those negative voices out. And I did by talking to myself, by telling myself when people weren't around, I am a wife. I am a person. I deserve to be here just as much as anybody. That's the first thing I think I said. I deserve to be here just as much as anybody else. God made them. God made me. I deserve every bit as much as what they have. No, I was not coveting. I was not trying to take over their life or anything like. But I deserve just as much as they do. I deserve to be here just as much. So why can't I? And there was my epiphany right there. So I hope that works. I really hope that works. Y'all have a wonderful day. Find something to appreciate. Find something to laugh at. Laughter is the best medicine. Enjoy your day, no matter the weather. I realize we have different kinds of weather everywhere, but we have to appreciate it. It is God's work. The weather is. So you have to be very thankful for it and be thankful for everything you have in your life. Be very grateful. Start a grateful list if you have to. So that way you realize the things that you enjoy. And I enjoy children's laughter. I enjoy a balloon. I enjoy, I'm grateful for colors. I'm grateful for all this stuff, all this journaling stuff. It may be tedious and it may be boring, but once you can write these things down and burn it in your memory, it'll make you more aware of the things you are thankful for, the things you can control, and make sure you write your daily and nightly journals so that way you can document your behavior for the next year to find your triggers and find what it is that is messing with you and making you think the negative things you do. At least for 6 months. I say up to a year, but at least for 6 months. So that way you have a written documentation of what it is that triggers you. And remember, always, always, one negative thing equals 2 positive things. So that way you can be in the habit of thinking of positive things first. So if you think a negative thing, think of 2 positive things. And that gets you in the habit of being positive. Y'all have the most beautiful day. I know you can do it. I have faith in you. I know that this is important. I understand how you feel. Trust me, I do. And I'm here to talk to you. Remember to email me, Cassie's_corner@outlook.com. And on Facebook, I basically just write positive affirmations and things on there that are women friendly. I know I'm a woman, but a woman needs to be positively pushed more so than a man. A man's not ruled by his emotions, but I'm not saying men cannot get depressed, because men are more depressed than women are. I don't understand that, but okay. They are. I've known more men to complete the big S word than I've known more women. I do know women that have done it, but I know more men than women to finalize the big S. So there's that. Y'all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow, I promise. Or maybe later today. We'll see. It depends on what's going on. Depends on how bored I get in my office duties. Y'all have a wonderful day. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.